Hi, my name is Mark Walker. I'm the editorial director here at the FinTech Times, and we are at Abu Dhabi Finance Week on day 2. I'm going to start off by asking my interviewee to introduce himself to you, the audience.
I'm Rico from the Veen, co-founder and CEO at Semi-Liquid, and we just launched Programmable Credit Protocol.
So that's the first bit is really interesting. Obviously, this is quite a new sort of couple of days for you. First launch of the website for Semi-Liquid. Maybe give us a little bit of a flavor of Semi-Liquid and the new credit protocol in a sort of layman's terms, so people can understand it.
So high level, institutions can request and receive bilateral credit without moving collateral out of custody. So normally you have counterparty risk to the lender. In this scenario, you lock your asset in your own custodian under certain triggers: liquidation price, repayment history, right? If you don't repay your loan, the custodian will send it out. So it solves counterparty risk for both parties, and it scales bilateral lending, which normally takes 6 weeks for a single loan.
Yeah, and it's something obviously that traditional sort of financial markets have had access to, but it's kind of been lacking a little bit in the digital asset space. So it's kind of bringing even more usability to digital assets.
So I think in TradFi they had tri-party agreements, right? But in TradFi specifically, it is really manual, and it takes already 6 weeks. Like, very expensive to set up bilateral loans between one another. What crypto enabled is that the tokenization of the asset makes the asset more mobile. So you can, if something breaks, you can send it immediately, there is no settlement drag or collateral drag. So the assets are mobile now. They can be settled instantly. Now the credit needs to be scalable as well. And that's what we provide.
Right. And obviously we're here in Abu Dhabi. Why Abu Dhabi?
I really like the ADGM. I really like the proximity to and the approachability of the regulator. You can walk on one morning, you work from a hedge fund tower to the tower with the banks. You go for a cup of coffee with the regulator. Everyone is working alongside each other. Where in London or anywhere else in the world, you see more of kind of like a fight between one another, right? And I think this collaborative environment with the proactiveness of the Abu Dhabi government, I think it's a really good mix.
Absolutely. And I guess, how has it been received by ADGM and the sort of the markets here?
So the ADGM is mostly risk averse, but they are pro innovation. How counterintuitive that sounds. So what they really like about it is that you make a use of regulated financial institutions. So everyone is regulated. You have the custodians, you have the banks, and they interact with one another. And assets are never leaving these environments, right? They stay put. And that's what they really like about it.
Yeah. And I guess, obviously, you had your event last night, which is very well attended. Is the real key for you being here is to try and get into understanding and people learning more about what's available and custodians, etc., and getting them onto the platform?
Yeah, definitely. So I think because everyone wants to do something in the Middle East as well, right? You see other custodians coming here and everyone wants to collaborate here. I think it fosters more integration potential here than anywhere else, right? So custodians, they learn about it. The asset managers, they want to increase utility for their assets, and everything comes together nicely here in ADGM.
And I think you only just have to have a little look at the agenda for sort of some of the panels and that.
Yeah.
You've got Circle here, you've got Coinbase here, you've got Strategy here, you've got all the big players in the digital asset worlds here. That kind of seems to be therefore the logical place, which is why you've sort of started here.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that it's only accelerating the move to the ADGM, right? So we also looked at other financial free zones in the UAE, but also across the world. And ADGM just stands out being this robust regulatory framework, this good branding. They branded themselves as kind of like the institutional, right? And it's also what you see here, right?
And I guess obviously now thinking about the future, obviously, you know, we've launched here. Things are going to come online next year. Give us a bit of a flavor of the timescales and the timeline that you're working on now.
So we are aiming to be fully live in March, so the end of Q1 next year. And we are working on 4 to 5 different custodian integrations. We have around 5 to 10 big balance sheet lenders that are willing to provide credit. And we have around 30 to 50 borrowers who are already signed up to the wait list. So March is going to be this ones are coming out of stealth. March is going to be the go live.
If you can think about the future and a bit more than just that, when we're standing here in December 2026.
Yeah.
What are going to be some of your major achievements that you will have achieved?
We're essentially we're targeting all the custodians, right? So we want to be the plumbing or the new rail for institutional credit. So we want to be in at least a couple dozens of custodians. I want to explain about our success on stage next year.
Let's see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me for the FinTech Times.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.